everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily. It's Sunday. I know it's weird we have a daily out, but you know, we're all gone, we're on vacation, so what are you gonna do?
It's a holiday.
So yeah, several weeks ago, our very own Alana Pierce asked the Inside Gaming crew what our favorite games of 2015 were. She meant to say 2019 because we were planning scripts for the holidays, but you know.
Yeah, being the sweet, loving, and good-natured group that we all are, we thought nothing of it and answered honestly. I don't know, maybe she was working on a bit.
Yeah, we don't know. We just want to go along with it. Yes, and.
Exactly.
So yeah, it turns out she made a typo, but you know, we had already put a lot of hard work in to figure out what the best games of 2015 were, so we said, "F it, Kaden, write a best games of 2015 script," and here she did.
Here we go. In Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. We're going back all the way to 2015, Kojima's last rodeo with Snake before Konami gave him the big middle finger, and it was one for the ages. And that's saying something because Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain had a lot to live up to.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 was the full debut of Kojima's in-house created Fox engine, previously only used in Pro Evolution Soccer 2014, fun fact. And the then in development Silent Hills, and with the small glimpse of how it would all look and play we got in Ground Zeroes, die-hard Metal Gear fans and gamers around the world were eager to see how far Kojima could push it.
And push it did, in classic Kojima style.
Oh, he salt and peppered the shit out of that, yeah.
The game was universally praised by critics and gamers alike as both a technical marvel, having excellent gameplay featuring rewarding yet challenging AI, and because of this, Metal Gear Solid 5 sits happily in the 90s on both Metacritic and OpenCritic.
Yeah, Caden, you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 gave true freedom to players to handle situations as they saw fit, and an open world to explore and properly test and hone their skills. Also, it had D-Dog and Quiet. It had everything.
That's true. Quiet is my waifu. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I too get invigorated when I take my clothes off in the rain.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's not how you eat. You just filter feed all of the sunlight into your body. That's how I eat.
Yeah, not very subtle. Yeah, let's have this girl have any excuse to take her clothes off and get wet.
He tried, I think. I don't know.
Thanks, Kojima.
Thanks, Kojima. Heck, it even ran reasonably well on last-gen hardware because of Kojima's efforts to make his Fox engine the most easy cross-generational engine to develop on. Man, Kojima, he is a man of the people, if I say so myself.
He has never created art that is obtuse and hard to understand for the layman.
No, what the hell are you talking about?
He makes art for the salt of the earth types. Yeah, however, the game was not without its faults. The slightly greedy implementation of microtransactions in the game's Metal Gear Online mode, which caused the forward operating base extension of the main game's mother base to feel locked behind a paywall. Yeah, and of course the loss of many potential story chapters in the game due to either development issues or the Kojima-Konami turmoil, which meant that the actual satisfying ending, episode 51, Kingdom of Flies, never actually made it into the game. And that game doesn't have an ending. Like, it just kind of stops.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right, yeah, that's good. We're good there. Go f*** around in Afghanistan. Yeah.
I always wonder like what content we could have gotten if Kojima and Konami weren't fighting, but you know what, whatever.
More Skullface.
I will always remember you, PT. So yeah, this huge cut to content makes the wonderful experiences found inside Metal Gear Solid 5 feel incomplete, but don't worry, right, Kaden?
Yeah, just because Kojima is no longer at Konami doesn't mean we won't see more games like this, because back in 2015, one of Konami's PR directors said, quote, "The Metal Gear and Silent Hill series are also extremely important to Konami and will continue to produce products for both franchises."
Nice.
Thank God for Death Stranding.
Is Death Stranding like...
I feel like it's this revenge piece against Konami.
And seriously, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Number 4, The Witcher 3.
Hey, my boy Geralt is here. The final entry in the Geralt of Rivia's story also doubles as that Witcher game that most people played without playing the first two, right, Kaden?
Oh yeah, and that's not just some small footnote, as the Witcher series had sold over a total of 40 million copies between all three games. And The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt accounts for 20 million of that 40 million.
Okay, wait. Hang on. Okay, that's half?
I think
it's
half. Kaden, can you confirm, is that half?
That is assuredly half.
Whoa!
Hey, yeah, it's fair to say that the medieval fantasy games are a dime a dozen, but how much attention to detail CD Projekt Red put into Geralt's final adventure made it one of the most immersive games of its genre.
Yeah, well-written dialogue that endeared players to nearly every NPC, gave gravity to each quest, and was well supported by the overhauled combat made exploring every nook and cranny of the large world of The Witcher 3 feel like a real-life adventure.
I will never be able to see the words nook and cranny without feeling so uncomfortable. But then it slowly transitions into English muffins, and I'm like,
Oh, okay. I don't know
Okay.
why, but
I'm
I'll
down
let
with
you
these
have
nooks
that.
and the crannies. Yeah.
See, you say that, but I think Animal Crossing.
Oh my god, she's
Tom
right.
Nooks and animal crannies.
Ew.
Trying to get all up in that Tom Nook cranny.
Oh my god, I don't like this at all. We're back on our bestiality shit.
It's the new year, baby.
So, again, this is one of the rare cases where critics and fans alike both universally loved a game and continue to sing its praises to this day, landing it too in the 90s on both Metacritic and OpenCritic. Very comfortable place to land.
Oh yeah, CD Projekt Red also continued to support the game with a ton of free DLC, and then 2 major story expansions, Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine, which only furthered its cementing into the video game Hall of Fame as one of the greatest.
And while it's sad that we had to say goodbye to Geralt, we're finally going to get our hands on CD Projekt's next big game, Cyberpunk 2077, in this year. And we can play Gwent on our phones until then. You guys have phones, right?
Whoa, hey, you take that back, you son of a bitch. I'll turn you into a meme right now.
We can shut that laptop, damn it.
Smells like Brian in here.
Wait, The Witcher 3 came out for the Switch last year. Can we retroactively add that to the games of 2019 year of the
Yes.
games list?
I'm a big fan of playing The Witcher on my Switch and also Skyrim. I feel like both those things play really nicely together. And you know what? It looks good, okay? It doesn't look great, but it looks good.
Yeah, nothing beats running around Markoth dressed as a photorealistic Link. Yeah, that blue tunic really fits into the aesthetic of Nordic ancient Skyrim world.
That's true. What you can't do on the Switch is run around Markoth in full tit out because there's no mods. So, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, cowards.
So, number 3 on our top games of 2015 list is Undertale. Kaden, you want to take this away?
The term Kickstarter game tends to be used as a negative comment. But the platform has given us some amazing titles like Shovel Knight, Divinity Original Sin, The Banner Saga, Hyper Light Drifter, and the indie hit of 2015 that spawned more memes than Shrek, Undertale.
How is that possible?
Taking elements from classic JRPGs, mixing it with bullet hell shooters, and then openly challenging players to do a level 1 run of the game by not killing anything to unlock to the true ending. Ooh, it's just too good.
Yeah, it's like it knew just what to do to rake in both the Indie Game of the Year and Game of the Year awards from loads of outlets and fans alike. And of course, this means that, like the previous games on this list, it sits nicely in the 90s across all platforms on both OpenCritic and Metacritic. And thank God, because could you imagine telling Sans to jump down into the 80s?
No, all
Hell
of these
no.
are 90s kids. Come on. The most memorable addition to Undertale wasn't just its encouragement to have players figure out how to navigate a dangerous world of monsters by simply talking to them, breaking bread, but remembering when you made that one mistake and killed someone accidentally or intentionally.
I don't know why I was about to say. Yeah, just like in real life.
Yeah, every time I kill someone, you know?
Whoops. Yeah, this is the way I process grief. Undertale felt like it was learning about you as much as you were learning about it as you made your way through the game. A feeling that still is incredibly unique and very hard to find elsewhere.
Also, it made people want to fuck a skeleton in a hoodie. I mean, it's simply Game of the Year material based on that alone. Skeletons are sexy.
Yeah, and more recently, the first chapter Undertale's sequel, Deltarune, was released. Megalovania and Sans were added to Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Toby Fox composed the music for Little Town Hero and Pokemon Sword and Shield. Hey, way to go, dude.
So good, man.
We Sans the Fox, you
We
goat.
stan the Fox. The score in Undertale is so good. God bless that man. Oh my God, what the fuck was that? That was awesome. All right, and moving on to number 2 top game of 2015. We got Super Mario Maker. Wow, bringing back lots of good memories for me. What's going on with this game, Kaden?
It's probably one of the biggest boom to content creators since Minecraft. Super Mario Maker brought out the inner sadist in everyone and finally gave an outlet to your weird cousin that eats slices of old ham in the corner of the room during family reunions.
Hell yeah. Shout out to that cousin. They smell weird.
Yeah, prior to this, Nintendo Nintendo was receiving pretty tepid responses from fans about the platforming plumber's adventures, and Super Mario Maker felt like the developers saying to fans, okay, you can make it then if you're so damn smart. Fine.
And lo and behold, as Nintendo decree, so shall it be. For a while, it felt like everyone was either playing Super Mario Maker or watching someone else play it.
Donkey.
Man, yeah, there's something really good and fun about watching someone make a bunch of pipes and just having to go through the whole thing, man. It's great. What a good game.
Well, sliding through that good pipe.
Laying down pipe.
Yeah, in either case, the game... It's always those ones that get me where I'm making a few words in and I'm like, nope. No, I thought I could have this. Yeah, in either case, the game had an addictive quality to it, and for those playing, the urge to conquer difficult levels and claim the best time was reward enough. And for those watching it, it was hilarious to see hundreds upon hundreds of failed attempts. And that's not being hyperbolic. I've seen some amazing rages that are attributed to Super Mario Maker's infuriating possibilities for levels.
Yeah, it wasn't last Super Mario Maker, but the one that they just came out with, the second one, I was playing this one level literally for like 5 hours. And when I finally beat it, it was just the most amazing feeling. I danced, I cried, I passed out. It was awesome.
Spiked your Switch to the ground. I'm never playing you again.
And then I was like, oh no, I don't.
True bliss.
Yep, exactly. So Super Mario Maker's inclusion on this list is fairly unique, right, Caden?
Yeah, not only is it the only game that didn't break 90 on Metacritic or OpenCritic, sitting at about 88 and 89 respectively, but it's also the one that players made popular with their creations rather than the game itself. It's safe to say that without the support of the speedrunning and ROM hack communities, no amount of incredibly hilarious binge drinking videos made by the top content creators on YouTube would have kept the game as popular for as long as it did, especially considering it was out on the Wii U.
I wish everyone would stop talking shit about the Wii U. I love the Wii U.
What's a Wii U?
And play, Mario Kart 8, Rayman Legends.
None of this is ringing a bell to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's a foreign language.
Pretty sure you can play all those on the Switch though too, so...
No, don't ruin this.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
Preach! Yeah, Super Mario Maker did well enough to warrant a sequel on the far more successful Switch.
God damn it.
And with it came huge improvements to the builder's tools, as well as entirely new tools, a variety of multiplayer modes, and a story mode! Oh, everyone's getting a campaign now.
I love saving princesses, but you gotta remember...
Princei.
Oh, you're right,
Yeah.
my bad. But you gotta remember Super Mario Maker walked so that Super Mario Maker 2 could run. Triple jump, wall jump, spin, you get the point. Nice, good little Mario
dang.
jokes, Caden.
And sitting pretty at the top of our list is the best game that's ever existed. A Bloodborne.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Awesome. Top game that ever existed, huh?
Yep,
All
done.
right, cool.
All right, hey, have a good rest of
It's
your
the
year.
best. Everybody go home, quit. You don't need to make any more games. Bloodborne was perfect. It came out 4 years ago. Every game that came after it doesn't exist.
She's right. She's absolutely right. One day, Hidetaka Miyazaki sat in his thinking chair and asked himself, what if Dark Souls, but darker and with more blood and possibly more souls, and thus Bloodborne was born?
Aw, I see what you did there. Yeah, it's almost unanimous among the Inside Gaming crew that the Gothic Victorian era reskin of Dark Souls tickled our little pleasure centers in just the right way to not only earn its place on this list, but the top of our collective charts. We love this game, to be very clear.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Caden, sauce it up. that's funny.
So yeah, Bloodborne is just that good that we have to say it's one of the best. And everyone does say to save the best for last. Of course, this one sits happily in the 90s on Metacritic and OpenCritic too.
See, the best for last thing, I feel you. I've recently started doing a thing in my life where I don't do that, and like, so if I'm eating like a plate of different foods, and I'm like, I know I like the sweet potatoes better than the Brussels sprouts or whatever.
Right.
I'm gonna just go for the sweet potatoes first because like you could die at any moment, and I'm just like, I like no, like while I'm hungry, let me experience the one I want the most.
Wow, that's a really good
Low key,
outlook
I
on
think
life.
you're eating the wrong type of Brussels sprouts because there are some tasty ass Brussels sprouts out
Yeah,
there.
that's my
Don't get me
girl,
wrong.
dude.
I love Brussels sprouts. I just said that because I was, you'd be surprised at how hard it is to think of food on the spot, despite the absolute infinite number of
I
food
thought-
that exists. But yeah,
I thought we were like improv magicians over here.
Nope.
Oh no, that's the Funhouse people.
that's my entire diet consists of sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts.
Ew, your poops must be horrible.
But regular.
Yeah, so Bloodborne's Yharnam was a Lovecraftian, nightmare-fueled adventure that replaced the normally cautious wait, learn, counter style of gameplay FromSoft had become famous for and gave it a much more aggressive focus.
Yeah, Bloodborne also gave those who wanted to get into the Souls series but felt it a bit daunting due to that tough-as-nails reputation, a new game to jump into without any ties to previous releases.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I did because I'm really bad at games, but I really like the FromSoft games that I've never been able to actually play through Dark Souls game because I suck. So I played Bloodborne and it was definitely not as intense, still intense, but wasn't trying to kill myself every 5 seconds.
Yeah, sure, and now games like this are literally called Soulsborne, but that just speaks volumes about how influential Bloodborne was to the popularity of the genre.
Yeah, rather than building further upon the expansive magic and class system from Dark Souls, what did Bloodborne do, Caden?
Well, it made it accessible for new players, and it was going back to the basics in its mentality. Your playstyle wasn't based around any preconceived job list. You could play Bloodborne however you wanted and get your ass kicked just the same.
Yeah, because of this and that refocus towards aggressive combat, Bloodborne became more about how well you could learn and adapt your skills to the creatures in the nightmare.
Yeah, meaning when you actually succeeded, it was because of you, not because you found the lingering and bellowing Dragon Crest rings and mixed them with other sorcery rings to completely destroy the Dark Souls meta.
Yeah, but how fashionable does that sound? Bellowing Dragon Quest Deathwing?
Actually sounds intimidating. I don't think I could pull that off.
I want to be one of those guys that just wears rings on every finger and then gets really swollen and puffy and they just look like little sausages.
Why do you want that?
I'm like, yeah.
So you're basically turning your entire hand into Thanos' gauntlet, is what you're saying.
I want to turn myself into that gorilla from the sauerkraut ads and Cat Dog.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And Cat Dog. There's the big
What
purple
a-
gorilla
what
that's
a
this mascot for the
shout-out.
sauerkraut, and he sits in a jacuzzi.
I can't go from Thanos to fucking sauerkraut dog.
They're
and
both
cat dog.
purple, is what I'm saying here.
Holy shit. Anyway, Sekiro even got our Game of the Year for 2019, so that proves we're either masochists or that FromSoft really knows how to make a kick-ass game. I'm gonna say it's probably the latter. FromSoft makes awesome games.
Yeah, so that's our favorite games from 2015. What games did you love way back then? Toss them in the comments and we'll read them and say, oh shit, I forgot about that game.
Yeah, we'll all have a fun nostalgia moment together.
We're all gonna die one day.
Aw, cute.
Have a happy rest of your year, bitches.
Oh my god.
Super Mario Maker managed to survive the Wii U somehow to become a hit franchise for Nintendo, and there's actually a very good reason why. Super Mario Maker 2 is the biggest launch of the year so far in the UK, where it sat on top of the charts for 3 weeks running, as well as being #1 at launch in Japan, where it sold 196,153 units in its first week. How do they know to that specificity?